take a second and hang your hat there and just address it, like get to the root of whatever the issue is, but at least admit you are scared to have a conversation at a deeper level, the politics behind the face or behind the tone. Once we get over that and we just lay out the cards, there's a lot more that we probably agree on than we realize, but just using a front man, which at the end of the day, it's all puppeteered. So get over that and let's just get together, get around the campfire and duke it out, right?
Absolutely. Duke it out. You've never said that. That's like a fighting term, Val. That's a hockey term, man. Put up your dukes, eh?
I know. Again. I'll sit that one out.
Anyway, let me do this.
Let's talk about the field trip. Over to the field trip.
Oh, I really wanted to chat about this because I always say authenticity is so cool. The truth is easy to sell, and I tripped over this gentleman named Michael McCune, and I'm going to tell you how. He asked me yesterday. I did my field trip to Benson, beautiful downtown Benson, Arizona. But I wanted to talk about him because of not only how we met, but again, I did a field trip. I don't often do field trips these days. Do you remember field trips in especially grade school and stuff? How fun they were.
Yes, I love field trips. Why did they end? Like, who decided no more field trips once you reach a certain age or stage or title in life?
That sounds like a good plan for 2025. Field trip 2025. We'll have that all the way to the campfire. So here's how I met him. And again, he asked me, and I always wonder how I connected with people. And always ask yourself that. How did I first meet someone and what was the real connection? And it was this. And bottom line, Michael McCune, spelled MCCUNE, is one of the best kept secrets right now. It's not going to be a secret long. He's one of the best writers I've run into a long time, political writers. He's a martial arts guy, a karate guy, and writes about politics. I explained to him the concept of dueling citizens yesterday, and he loved it. Anyhow, here's how I met him. He asked, and the most important thing about life is how did you meet? Because that's the connection thing. And I met Michael McCune. Really, it sounds funny. It was over the course of probably about a 2 or 3 week span where Deborah and I, my wonderful wife, all we do is drive. I drive 30,000 miles a year. And I always have, whether I'm a commuter or not, because we want to see every nook and cranny, in this case, of the state of Arizona. So we took a field trip, Val, a day trip, and we planned on seeing Tombstone, Arizona. I've been there before. We've talked about it on air with Heather Prosack, my best buddy up there. She's awesome. And Bisbee, Arizona, Bisbee. So we went and did a field trip and spent half a day and seeing those towns and stuff. We were driving back, and as we're driving back, towards Tucson, there's this town, Benson, Arizona, and it was one of these kind of by the highway, kind of railway going through kind of Mayberry. It looks like Mayberry. And I was saying, oh, that's kind of a cool town as we were driving by. So Benson was in my mind because Deborah and I are always looking for kind of an empty nest. We're very flexible now that we're retired and stuff. So if we found a kind of a cool place to live or even another state, that's a new adventure. We'd be open to that. So I kept saying, Benson. So anyway, I get back home, and as usual, I do my news feed, and I love to follow writers, and I've got an amazing news feed. And there's this writer. It's the first time I've seen a post of his, first or second time. His name's Michael McCune, and fabulous writer. Gen X, by the way, fabulous writer. And I noticed, I just read his stuff, and I said, God, this is good stuff. This is kind of like Greg Meakin, but only younger. I said, but really clear, but really edgy, but also a very clinical view of things, like a good referee in dueling citizens. So I'm saying, boom. And then I just looked at his profile. He says he's from Benson, Arizona. Of course. So here we go. And I just had connected with him, and I said, I just got to go down and visit you because I've never run into a writer awesome writer, but that also runs a martial arts dojo studio. He's a mentor. He's a trainer. He's a teacher. There you go. Look at you, Miss Val. That's his store down in Benson, Arizona. His store. That's an old car guy right there. His studio, his dojo, Bushido of Benson. So I ended up yesterday. I took a trip down there, and you'll see some photos. And we had just one of those. We had a 3-hour visit. I said, this is just a really, really good guy. And he's someone that maybe I even want to promote a little bit, or, get the word out there and stuff. And the same with us. You're in my work. Because, by the way, I'm his kind of guy, too. Kind of funny how that works. But I was just really impressed with him. As a side note, on 4th of July, he's producing the 4th of July fireworks show for Benson, which he's done for like 23 years. And, fireworks display, how it starts with the kind of sometimes some voiceovers and some music, and then crescendoing up to the fireworks grand finale quote. And he produces whole fireworks show, but in audio. And it started where it's going to all be dark, of course, everyone's waiting for the show, and it's Ronald Reagan. The accumulation of all of the best clips of Ronald Reagan. I promise you, Val, I promise you. I was losing it listening to it, because I've listened to kind of all the tapes in the past, but I've never heard it pulled together, where Ronald Reagan basically says the United States of America's last bastion of freedom on earth. And then all these veterans died for us. And so that's the beginning of the fireworks show. I'm sitting there, I'm saying, God, I'm in the studio. I'm starting to blubber a little bit. And then here come the fireworks, but it's all in audio, in soundtracks. So I watched the fireworks show on audio. And I was saying, dude, no matter what, I just really like his writing, really like what he does. And most importantly, his mission is right. As a matter of fact, here we go. God, I'm digressing, but next Wednesday, write this down. Do you have your notepad there, Val? Next Wednesday, it's going to be the 9th. By the way, Secrets from the Inside, episode 0036. Next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, Michael McCune. Long form. Great long form. And
can I show a picture of him, or are we saving?
Oh, that's great. As a matter of fact, yeah. You know what? Go through. You pulled up some photos as usual, right? Of your research, Val. This is just hot off the press from yesterday. As a matter of fact, why don't you go through just a clip by clip of whatever you pulled up, and I'll just talk about it. Okay, just kind of ad lib. This is profile picture. Okay, this is called Generation X on steroids. Okay.
The real deal.
That is the real deal. And that's this guy's genius with graphics. Okay. Because I'm saying, go back to the previous one, Val. That's really cool. Because I'm saying, I'm like getting a man crush on this guy without even having met him. And you know what's funny? That profile picture, that's what he is. That's what he is. Next one, photo. Awesome. This is great, Val. There are the two of us right there. That's in his studio. That's the old guy with the young guy. And I was just thrilled. He gave me a full tour of his studio, because he's all about basically fatherhood, mentorship. There is in his studio, he was showing, displaying. I mean, this is like NASA inside his studio, this huge screen. This is where he was displaying some of his work. That's the same screen that he had showed me the fireworks he has produced. He's just amazing. He sits here and he just produces stuff right on that big screen. I was just amazed. You have another one, or cool? Look at that. There's Michael McCune, Loving On. Get this. Greg Meakin's 2 books: Why I Came to America and What I Think Now, and Secrets from the Inside. He promised that's on his top reading list. And I was actually giving him one of them. He said, well, where's the signature? He wanted an autographed copy. He'll fact check that next week. It's a blast. That is great, Val. I really, really enjoyed visiting with him. And mainly his just mission and stuff. So you're going to be hearing a lot about him. And full disclosure, this show and this network and this program, you and I, Val, we're totally independent. We don't have advertisers, sponsors, donors. George Soros doesn't give me money in order to say things on the air. You know?
Yeah, no
Oh,
kidding.
go ahead, back to you. I've been
Yeah,
blabbering.
no, you have a point there.
Ugh.
There is, when I look at the difference between Canada and the USA, and people can laugh about, oh, the thought police, oh, the language police, but you
Oh,
don't realize how they can come in under the guise of, oh, it's we're monitoring hate speech. Well, that comes down to you taking ABCs, mixing them together, and creating things, and then enforcing things, and then before you know it, top to bottom, bottom to top, we have a mess on our hands that really is a hijacking of communication. So that's why I think it's really important to say, keep your grubby paws off of our ABCs, all of them, all 26. Like, I carry and use 26, and you'll have to pry them out of my cold, dead hands, right? Like, that's what it's all about. And if we can't say that at the water cooler or around the desk, around the table or around the campfire, then we have a problem. So it's all about the ABCs, wieners, and roasting on an open fire and talking. And that's kind of what you get with our broadcast. And we're thrilled to be here already at episode 0035. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we would end up here around this table? It's just like a match, isn't it? It's like a match made in heaven almost.
uh,